Hello everybody and welcome to 10 Year Out Boxing, and today we're talking about the upcoming fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and who is it? Oh yeah, it's George Groves. So very exciting fight, and the reason we're talking about that today is because a friend of mine's got tickets for the fight and he's quite excited. He's a boxing fan himself. His name's Vince and he's in the studio today to talk a bit about that fight and give me his opinion on who he thinks is going to win. So Vince, who do you think's going to win that fight?
I'd probably say Eubank's going to win the fight, if I'm honest. Just because he's faster, he's more skilled, he's a bit younger. But George Groves is a good fighter too. But
see, I reckon George Groves will win that fight because I think George Groves has had a lot more sort of experience. I think he's a bit underrated. I like Eubank. I think Eubank's a really good fighter. I think he's technically brilliant. You know, you see him when he's training, how good he looks. I like him. I like the Eubanks in general. I've always liked him, you know, from his dad back in the day, followed all his fights, you know, it was my era. And so I really love Eubank. I think he's a really talented guy. But I also rate George Groves, mate. That's the thing. I rate George Groves. I've seen, you know, look at him when he's had some high-profile fights when he fought, what's his name? Froch.
He got knocked out by Froch.
Yeah, he did get knocked out.
Twice.
He did get knocked out by Froch. But he gave him a good fight. You can't deny that. And also, he had Froch going for most of that. But we're not here to talk about Froch against Groves. We're here to talk about Eubank against Groves. That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
And so
I think if you saw Froch, what he said that, you know, Groves ain't got a chance because he's sparred with Eubank. And basically just said he's got too much.
Oh, right. See, I didn't know this. Is this something you've heard recently?
No, you've seen the sparring session between Chris Eubank Jr. and Carl Froch.
Yeah, I have seen that. And yeah, for any of you that ain't seen it, it's on YouTube somewhere. Type it in, Carl Froch sparring against Eubank Jr. Yeah, that was really good
years
footage.
Ago.
I know, but also you've got to remember, mate, you know, that is...
So, you know,
we're
now
sparring.
He's even stronger and he's even more powerful. He's faster, you know... He's more of an animal, mate. Trust me, he's more dedicated and everything, I believe.
Yeah, the only thing the only thing with Eubank Jr. is that he hasn't really proved himself, I don't think, in the ring. You've got to agree with that. He hasn't really, like, what has Eubank done? I mean, he beat, what's his name? Who's that? Abrahams.
Abraham. You know, he's old, but he beat that Ludrum last, and he knocked him out, and Ludrum was a super middleweight.
Yildirim, was it?
Yildirim. Yildirim, that's it. Yeah, and I just think, you know, you can see, you know, the sort of the look in George Groves' eyes, mate. He looks scared. If I'm honest.
What
George Groves looked scared,
at the press conference you talked about?
Yeah, he looked scared.
Yeah, but to be fair, Groves always looks a little bit funny. Like if you looked at him against when he was fighting Froch in those massive fights, he didn't look exactly that confident. I know he was kind of talking up.
Yeah, but and if you saw in his last fight, he nearly got done by Cox in the first couple of rounds. You know, he had George Groves on the bit wobbly legs for the first couple of rounds.
So do you not really rate Groves at all then?
I just think Groves sort of has sort of squeezed his way through to victories, mate. And this time he ain't going to squeeze his way through Eubank's victory.
I don't know. When he won the world title, mate, that weren't a squeeze though, was it?
Against Chudinov. I mean, Chudinov...
I thought Chudinov was quite a good fighter.
You know, who's he fought? Who's Chudinov fought, really? Whereas we know that in Britain, the boxers... You know, they're hardcore boxers. You know, and when you know you've got a tough fight, it's a tough fight. And Eubank, you can just tell that he's just an animal, mate. And he's just got that bit between his teeth.
Yeah, I'd agree that Eubank definitely is looking good. I mean, he's looking good in training. He's looking good in his last fights. But we've still got that whole sort of, you know, the last time he stepped up. And I know it was early in his career, but, you know, we've heard this kind of thing from Eubank before, you know, the whole Billy Joe Saunders thing, you know, we heard it before.
Yeah, but look how good Billy Joe Saunders is. You know,
that's a fair point.
He's just gone and beaten the Canadian bloke in his own backyard.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Everyone just thought, you know, we'll give him two hopes. But then he went and done it. So that's how good he is. So if he loses to Billy Joe Saunders, you know, and that's his only loss... And look how good of a fighter he is.
And to be fair, that was quite early in his career, you know, to really be taking on Billy Joe Saunders.
And he nearly beat him.
Yeah, and it was probably
he nearly knocked him out really in the last few rounds.
Well, I say probably, but it was definitely a fight too early for him there. And I think Billy Joe surprised him with that. So anyway, let's get back to this fight. I think that it's going to be an exciting fight, and you got tickets to the fight as well.
Yeah, I'm there, mate. I'm there.
You're there. Are you excited about this?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, first boxing match that I'm going to, proper boxing match. I obviously watch it on TV all the time.
And where is the fight exactly?
It's in Manchester Arena.
Manchester Arena.
Yeah.
Well, you going with some friends to watch it?
A couple of mates from school, old school.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So overall, we're sort of undecided on who's going to win the fight. I'm favouring Groves because like I said, I think he's got more experience. I think he's not too bad under pressure, Groves, and I think he's kind of got the experience that will see him through in this fight. And
Do you think he'll knock Chris Eubank Jr. out?
I think that Groves could knock anybody out at that weight. I think Groves could knock any man out. I think Groves has got a punch. I do. I think Groves has got a good punch. But so I think he could knock Eubank out? I think Eubank's one of those fighters that he carries like a double threat.
You know, his dad said that he spars with heavyweights.
Yeah, he does. But what I'm saying is,
everyone says he's got a granite chin.
But I think Eubank's the reason I think Eubank's dangerous is because Eubank's one of those fighters that if he does go down, you know he will do anything to get up because he's a sort of fighter that he don't want to be humiliated. He don't want to lose. You know, you can tell that losing to Eubank means more than money, means more than anything. So when you're fighting a guy like that, and you know, you get knocked down, you take a shot, the chances are Eubank will do everything in his power to get up. So unless Groves absolutely concusses the guy and puts him out with some kind of just KO,
and Eubank won't be like that, but we've seen George Groves be like that when he got knocked out twice by Froch. Well, the second time he was completely on his arse, wasn't he?
Yeah, but look at the punch he threw against Froch in the first fight. He knocked Froch
and he got
out.
Straight back up, mate.
Yeah, he got straight up, but he was in trouble. He was in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think you're giving George Groves the credit he deserves.
Yeah, I think he's not the same fighter, mate. Since that knockout, he's not the same fighter.
You're seeing it like that, but do you know how I see Groves? I've seen Groves as a better fighter than he's ever been. I see Groves as he's had a good career. He's had mainly ups in his career. But this is the thing.
He lost to Badou Jack.
Yeah, but this is the thing. To me, the big fights are there now for Groves. You know, Groves he's only had a small handful of good fights. So for me, this is the time for Groves. Groves should be fighting everybody now. This is where the big fights should come for Groves. I personally think Groves is in his prime right now. So I think he could do the most damage in his next 5 fights. I'd like to see Groves fight at least 5 more fights and have some big ones. I reckon he could do something right now. I really do.
I think you'll be looking at this interview, mate, thinking, what was I saying? Because I don't think he's gonna touch you.
Well, hopefully I won't have to look back on this and eat my words. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I like both of them. So I think Eubank's great. I think they're both great for boxing. And the thing is, what I love about a lot of people say they love Eubank's kind of personality and certain fighters like Dillian White's personality. But I think George Groves has got his own little personality going on as well. And if you, especially,
it's a boring one. No,
it's not, mate. When you look at the build up against Froch and all that, and behind the gloves, whatever it was, that show and. So I'm going for Groves. You're going for Eubank. We might put a little bet on that.
Yeah.
Just between me and you. Yeah. I'm not going to say how much, but it'll probably be quite a lot knowing you.
Yeah.
So So we'll leave it at that. That's our opinion, guys. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and tune in. We hope to get Vinny in the studio once a month and we can talk about boxing. Maybe once a week if you guys like him. Yeah, once a week. Maybe every day, mate. Maybe you can just join the show.
That'd be a pleasure.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe and get back to us, and we'll catch you all later.